We are done with all our strips, and we are going to start with these 3 ones. And we clean it up. And you can get your glue gun, and we're actually going to use, we're going to take these, we're going to get this out of our kit, and we're going to use the bottom part now, and we're going to wrap this, and it's going to be the base of our bud. So we are assembling, and it's getting exciting because we're getting close to the finish line, and to see the complete flower done. So we're just gonna wrap this around and around and around and around. We're gonna get it very fatty. So here's one, and that's all you do. And then we're gonna continue the other one. We're gonna wrap the 3 1-inch strips around our stem, one after the other. And we're just going to continue the wrapping. So you see? Now the 3rd one. We've got approximately, this is a almost 2-inch wide bud, and then we're going to pick our teeth. So this is, I think this is the big one, so we're going to start with the big one. Make sure you have them in order. So this is like big, the second big, actually this one's bigger. Remember 1.75, 1.5, 1.2, and 1. So we're gonna grab the biggest one. And we are going to start at the top part because you want it to be opening it up. So we are going to close this right at this edge. And we're gonna start with the biggest one. And we are going to be wrapping around like little teeth. We're going to right at the edge. You want to give the impression of a little ball. And we continue. Try to make sure when you're here that one teeth goes over the other one. You know, if not, you kind of stretch your foamy so one is interlaced on the other one. And you're gonna go, keep on going like that. And there you go. You see how pretty it starts looking? And there are your initial teeth. It looks like a little crown. And then the next strip, you're gonna do it a little bit lower. The next big strip is, oh, which one is it? It's this one, the 1.5. So we're gonna do it a little bit lower. And it's gonna start opening up like a little bud. So you see it's going, you're gonna start wrapping. Going just a little bit lower than the previous, so it starts turning into a little circle. And you start gluing this part under it. So here we go. Look how pretty it's looking. And we're gonna glue it, get it closer to the bottom. Stretch it, and it starts turning into a little ball. Now we go for the third one, and just a little bit lower. It's got to look very, did I get the wrong one? I got the wrong one. Okay, don't worry, if you happens to do that, just push it down enough that it looks shorter than the previous layer. And it's going to keep on going down, a little bit down, more down. It's turning into a little ball. Look at that. And we're going to keep on going. So that's a little ball now. And we're going to do the last little teeth here. A little bit lower. Until you're right at the edge. Stretch it out to make sure you don't get the teeth like it's supposed to be right in the middle of that. So right at the edge. And it just gets a little bit so you now have a perfect little ball. So now we're gonna wrap the first white one around it. So we're gonna start right here and go up around it. It's gonna open up a little bit. See? So you go around and around. Now you want, see, one circle is done. So we're gonna stretch this out to make sure it's between the between this two, you want this little thing. So in here, we're probably not gonna reach the two perfect circles. I mean, right here, there should be one more. So we're actually going to, so it looks good, we're gonna cut one of these I don't know if you can see what I'm telling you. See, there's like here, it started here and it ends here. So there's one, it should really end here. So I'm just gonna glue this little piece right there, so it can look a little bit properly. So we're gonna put this little pistil there. So it's starting to look. Now we're gonna start with a purple. We're gonna do it a little bit taller. We're gonna get the other part, and then we're gonna go down and up. So we are going to, and this part we are going to have to, you see, we're gonna start taller here, but I want it, you see how it's gonna be a little bit taller. It's a little bit to the edge. You want it to go around in a circle, so the last petals, the last pistils will be all open over your flower. So now here you do have to make sure it ends, and you make it taller than the white. So we're gonna go like up and down. So the first one was at the edge, and if you can see here, we are missing one here too. So what we're gonna do is we are going to cut one out of this, and put it in there. So you have your whole complete circle of every color. So the first one was 2 white complete circles. Okay, now we're gonna go again on the white a little bit taller. So we're gonna start, well, actually wherever you start, a little bit taller. A little bit taller. Just a tiny little bit taller. I'm gonna go up here. So the pistils will start opening up. You know, we're gonna do one more a little bit taller, then we're gonna start going a little bit down again. So we've got 4 more. So you got one starts at the base. This one starts going a little bit taller. So this is the second white, which went, okay, so we're starting the second circle. So we need to complete the second circle of white. So I don't know if you can tell here. So we started the second circle here, so we need this more strip of white. So we're going to glue from here to here, just a little bit taller. And we're going to cut right at one. So there's 2 circles of white. And we're gonna cut right there. So you see how it's going a little bit up. Now the last purple, we're gonna make a complete purple circle, a little bit taller, then we're gonna start going down again. So here we go, a little bit taller. See right there. Now lots of people make it taller from here. I like to make it like that, so when you put the last part, it makes it turns it into a circle. And plus it saves you material, so that's always good. So we've got this little strip to go only. So you're going to calculate here from here to here, and we're going to cut right there. So you can see there's double circles in white and just one circle in purple, because it's supposed to look more white than purple. So now we're gonna do a double white. And now it's gonna start going down, so it starts opening up. So we are going to start working now. Now we go back down. And we start with a white. And it's gonna start opening the bud up. So I'm going to turn it around. I know you can see. And it's going to start going down. And the pistils should open back up. And here it's one complete round, so we're gonna do another one. We're gonna do a double. That starts opening up. Look at that, how pretty. Now we're gonna do, it starts from here to here. So we're gonna do all this around and stop right there. So we're gonna cut it. Can you see we are going, this is where the second part started, so this is where we cut. So you have two full circles in white. So right here we cut. And we start going a little bit more down. So these start opening up again. Kind of what we did with the black little teeth. We want it to turn into a little circular ball and not so like a cylinder. Now we're gonna do a purple. We're gonna do one single circle in purple. So now we go a little bit lower. And we just need one little extra strip here. Ooh, I tore it there. And we're just gonna leave from here to here. So we need 4 little pistils. Looks like a beautiful anemone, and it's opening up. So now we're gonna do the white. A little bit lower and more open. So actually, we're gonna put in right at the edge here. Right at the edge, you can put your So your pistils are opening up again and going back down to the base. So make sure if we're going to do a second round that we're going to make it. We're not going to make it, so we are just going to cut this off right here. Or you can, you know, it doesn't have to be like perfectly. I like to leave it, you know, perfectly in line. So hopefully we can make 2 complete rounds of the purple. Look at that. I want to open this up. And now we're going to go almost fully open with the purple. And maybe we can get 2 complete rounds of purple. Between this, yeah, we can make it. Okay, here we go. Now here you want to go back down to the base, literally. And we're going to glue this last little round that goes from here to basically here. To where it ends right there. And that's it. So we're just going to glue here. And stretch it over here. And you've got your beautiful bud. Ain't that beautiful? So the Giant Anemone bud is finished. So we now have all our 5 giant petals, our thermoform finished, and 5 small ones. So we will start, we will cut in and cut this little thing out. And we will put some glue on this edges. And oh, very important, we are gonna, if you can see here, I have 5, these are for 5 petals, so you want to make a mark like in a star, so you make sure you have them at the right places, kind of like you put them perfectly organized in 5, right? So if you can see here my little mark, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is when you start off. After you have experience, you don't really need to mark them, but for purpose of this tutorial, I recommend you do. So we are going to cut this off and put some glue inside of the sides, so you can write on one of the markings. You're going to place the sides, open it up, make sure it is straight and opened up, and you're going to press this center part. You can also use a little heat gun there if you want to, so it can be slow, easier to press right there. So you've got your petal. Now we're going to do the same thing over here. We're just gonna cut this little thing off because it's kind of uncomfortable. And you're just gonna put glue on your sides right there as close as possible. And you're going to glue to your other little marking, making sure it is pressed and straight. And we're going to go. And then now we're going to do marking number 5, which is right here. We're going to do the same thing so it's easy to glue. And you're just going to open these little flaps up. Put a little bit of glue because that's what you're going to glue. And we've got our marking here, but you want to go to the base. You want to make sure it's glued to the black base. You want to press it. Make sure both sides are glued properly. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. We cut the little edge off. We put some glue on these so it'll open up. And we put on the other little marking. Make sure it is properly pressed. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. We cut the excess, we open it up, and we glue. See how pretty it's looking? It's looking really nice. So now you can see how it looks from the bottom. How it looks from the top. Gorgeous. So we're gonna go to the next one. This one is going to be right in the middle. We're gonna also cut this little thing. You want it to hit right between these two and right to the like that. Okay, so it's gonna look like that. So we're going to now here we're gonna place a little bit of glue on this flat part, and we're going to go directly to the stem. Now we glue our next. We're going to do the same thing. Now you do want to place, forgot to say, right here, you do want to place quite a bit on these sides so it can glue to these and you won't have it flapping open. You want it as sturdy as possible. So we got these little edges right here glued. And then you've got this again. So we're gonna do that here at the base. And then we are going to glue it to the end. Make sure we have it properly held. And we glue to the upper petals. Although this one's going to glue to this one, so. So if you can see, there you go. Don't be afraid. I know it's scary. First, if this is your first time builder, then we're gonna cut this little thing off and we're gonna do the same thing over here. We're gonna press it hard. Make sure this is focusing. So I'm just gonna do the first part here and then I'll do the edges just to make sure they are properly aligned first. So I'm gonna check this and make sure this is glued. So we're gonna do this other part. I'm gonna cut this little tip out. And I'm gonna do the same thing. And then we're gonna go around gluing the edges of the petals to the previous petals so we won't have any mistake there. Because you don't want them like flapping open like that. Because and then you cut this little piece, and we're gonna do the last one. Glue this. And right in the middle of these two, we glue it. Now this is what I wanted you to check. If this is over this one, this has to be over this one. This one has to be over this one, but it's already glued. So this one over this one over this one. Oh, there you go. See? So we're just going to, well, it doesn't really matter. This one over this one over this. Okay, we got it. Okay, now it's ready. So see, now we're gonna check those little edges here. What I was telling you, that it has to be kind of glued to the previous layer. So we're gonna put a little bit here. Make sure it's glued to this one. This one glues to this one, but we want this one to make sure it doesn't, but you can see here, we're gonna glue to that one there. And this one, a little bit to that here. You don't want your flower flapping. Unless it's a flapper flower, which there are some that just open like that. But this one, you want it hard, right? And then here we got this one's over this, okay, yeah, this one's over, okay. So we are going to put a little bit of glue on this one, see it opens too much, and that's just gonna be a flapper. And this one to the bottom, and this one to the bottom. So we're going to press and hold these things like that. You see? And now it's sturdier. This one needs a little bit of sturdying here, but not really. Can you see? That's gorgeous. So at the edge of this, we are going to cut a little, you can check kind of 2 inches times 3 inches. And we're just gonna wrap around this stem. It's very simple. This is the part that goes inside the PVC pipe. So we go in here, and we're just going to wrap it. Make sure it's sturdy at the bottom, like presses down to the bottom, so you can have a sturdy base structure. I'm gonna, well, I need my nose pliers, because you don't really need this long. See how open these is? This is beautiful. Now we're gonna check that these pieces are glued to the previous layer, so it won't be flapping again. Oh, I really dislike it when that happens to my flowers. And it happens a lot. Or in some cases they go in, you know, so you don't want that happening. So this one's a little bit loose, so I'm just going to let's see. Maybe this one here. Just glue it to the top. Oh yeah, that was, I had glued it, but it didn't do that well. for just, oh, this one's a little bit open here, so we'll make a little bit of glue here. So whether you're doing the white one or the lilac one, I think we're gonna have a red one too. It's basically the same. Put a little bit more here. Now we're just gonna get the leaves and we are done. Gorgeous. So we now take our floral tape that comes in our kit and our 6 18 gauge wires, and we will, well, we're not going to tape them yet. And we are going to take our glue or our glue gun, and we are basically just going to glue this complete, like almost at the edge, and you are going to glue your wire. Hold it firm, try to hide it in the crease. We're going to try to hide it here. So I am hiding it, as you can see. I am hiding it in the crease. Oh, that was too far away, huh? Sorry about that. And we will wait for it to glue. And you now have your bendable leaf. Look at that, how pretty. And then we will glue the next one. Also leaving like 2-3 inches here, because you may want to bend the very, very edge. And you will put enough glue. I do want to kind of hide it. The rose, many flowers have the same structure as the giant flowers. That's usually how I structure them, for them to hold and be bendable, because it all depends like how you want them to look. You can want them to look like that, or you will want them to look like that. You know, it depends on how you want to accommodate them. So the anemone leaf, we are going to glue the third one. Remember, you can use the glue is the last one. So we've got our 6 leaves all together, and what we're going to do is we're going to group them. Oh, this one didn't close properly. Put a little bit extra glue here. And hold it. Until it glues. And we're going to grab 3 pieces together towards the same side, and we're going to get the very, very, very edge. we're going to grab our floral tape, scissors, and we are going to cut a little longer piece, but you want to really wrap it really strong here. So I'm going to hold it like this. Oops, not that strong. And so there's 3 looking down, and you're just going to twist them all together at the very edge, because so this is going to go. So what you're going to do is you're going to twist this one this way, this one this way, and this one this way. So if you recall, this is your anemone leaf. Now you're going to want to give it your form, you know, but it's basically like a 3 leaf like that. Now, one of the things, if you want to hold it like perfectly center, is you can put a little bit of glue on the edges, maybe get it together a little bit more tighter here. I'm actually going to leave it like this so it can move around a little bit. But here you go. So here is, you know, maybe not. I am going to put a little bit of glue. Now, if you need to make it like tighter so they can go fit together, so what I'm going to do here, see that with a wire right there? You want to put a little bit of glue on the edges, one against the other. So you have like 3 leaves like that. I may have to put it, and there you go. You just fix it your best way you can. And you have your 3 leaves. I'm going to put a little bit of extra glue over here. And you may want to get it a little bit tighter so they can be more close together, tighter at the very edges of the 3 of them. So we're going to hold it until it glues. Just gonna a little bit of glue there. Obviously you don't want that to show, so if you want to put your a little bit of color on it, so those little details never show. So this is your leaf number 1, and you are done. So now we're going to do the same thing with these other 3. We're going to make sure now that it's at the very, very, very edge. So we got them all glued, or you may want to try something like fold it here, fold it here, and fold it here, like so they can glue together. So we can do that too. So let's try to do that, whichever makes you you like better. But you do want your leaves to go look like that. So when they're on the flower, they look like 3 in 1. So we're going to start wrapping them first. I'm going to cut a little strip of floral tape, and I'm just going to twist and get them together as much as possible. wrap the tape around. So we've got the floral tape, and now we want to make them to stay in the place we want them to. So we're gonna make sure this one folds over this one. So here we go. So you just fix them the best way possible. And you make a little bit of dab glue in there, a little bit in there, and a little bit in there. And now we're gonna hold it. Side is not being good to me. So we hold it, and we got our 3 pieces. Looks beautiful. Just wait for it to dry, and we'll put a little bit of glue on this side. You can also turn it around, and that'll be maybe easier, actually. Giving me a hard time, but sometimes they do. Recreating nature, and I always see flowers as God's decor. So So here we go, we are holding it. And here you have it. So we are done ready, and we are get on to the next step. So we are now in the final step of everything. We've got, I just opened my giant floral tape that comes in my kit. Our PVC pipe, we have our leaves done, and we are going to start opening our PVC pipe. This bendable pipe that I love so much because I had so much trouble when I didn't have it. And we're just gonna give it a little twist. But you need the base to wherever you're going to place it. We do have some bases available on our website, and they're pretty cool because they're transportable. So we're going to start off by putting our floral tape starting from the top, and we are going to put a little bit of glue always, because the floral tape, you know, it tends to always try to start on the outside so you can stretch it out. And then we're gonna go wrapping our floral tape around our PVC pipe. And we're gonna start adding, depends, now this is totally up to you, optional, how tall you want your leaves to go. Because if it's going to be a centerpiece on a table, you want them a little bit tall because you want people to be able to, you know, see, right? So in this case, I am having mine against a wall, so they don't have to be that tall. You can just place them. So I'm gonna put them in 2 different areas, but you should give at least 10 inches from the top, because your flower will be covering your leaves, unless you don't want your leaves to show. So, but I'm gonna place one here. So you're gonna grab one of your sets, and you're just gonna start rolling it around, leaving like 2 inches here for you to open it up. I love this floral tape. It comes in the kit, but it's also available for your if you're gonna do more. There's also PVC pipe on the website by the yards. So maybe I'm gonna do it a little bit more, a little bit lower. I want it kind of. So you're going to wrap it here. Now make sure it's on the other side of the pipe, so you can have one lead towards one side. Now you can move it around inside the floral tape and it'll hold pretty well. So this is pretty cool. I love this floral tape so much. I used to do it before, like with the thin one, and until we decided here in Amazing Giant Flowers to develop this tape. Have it specifically done for our little niche industry. So we are in love with it. So we are going and we are going to finish here. I do put a little bit dab of glue because, and stretch it pretty well, so you don't want it to unwrap. So it's pretty cool. Now we're going to place this. Now I don't have my wire cutters here with me, so you can just cut a little thing off because you don't really need it that long, you know. So we're gonna place it in here. I don't know if you can see. This little foam should go all the way inside. I hope you can. So you see the little foam holds it in place. And here is where it's gonna get tricky. So we're gonna put our glue our stem all the way in. And we have our little leaves, and these little leaves are not thermoformed. So usually thermoform them around the stem, right? So what we're going to do is, I have my thermoforming here, but the problem is I don't have anything to hold this with. So I'm just going to put it up here this way so it can hold against the camera. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do here. So we're going to grab one of these, and then right where you have the little creases, you're going to, let me get it close to the camera. You're going to hold it like this and glue it. Can you see? You thermoform it around the pipe and then down to the flower where you're covering up the creases. So that's what we're going to do. So we're just going to glue it. I don't know if you can see. So there it goes. And then we're going to thermoform this other little one. You don't really have to thermoform it, but it just gives it like a better look all around your flower. So I hope you can see there. Let's thermoform for it. And you put a little bit of glue. And you glue it and hold it in place. And then you grab your other leaf. Make sure you get the colored part on the outside and you're covering up the unions of the petals. So it's actually, you should have 5, to be quite honest. You should have like 5 leaves because there's 5 petals. So we got 6. So I'm going to glue this one. It's thermoform. So I'm going to put some glue on that, or you can put it on the stem if you're right there. And your flower is starting to fold. And you go for leaf number 4. And you're going to place it right here, thermoform it. Make sure it covers the lapping of the petals. And we're going to glue. Should be a little easier for you. Me, I'm holding this while the camera is showing, and so now we go for leaf number 5. You can see here. Just need to hold it up to the camera, and we make sure it is covering what we don't want to show. So I hope you can see that right there. And we put some glue. Place it over it. So this is exciting because this is the end of your creation, and I hope you are extremely happy with what you have accomplished, because this is really a beautiful piece. So here we go. You can see it all together, and here you can open this up like that and open this up like that.